Chapter 1. The Journey Begins in Earnest. I have always been interested in African art and African American history and culture. I established my Kanika African Sculptures art business in 1993 while working full-time, being married to my talented fire captain husband, and raising 2 sons. Creating a gregarious alter ego for myself, the artist called Kanika, allowed me to pop out of my introverted shell. As Kanika, I use clay, African fabric, glass, stone, and welded recycled metal to create Afrocentric indoor-outdoor sculptures. Wouldn't it be fabulous to find out through this research that my ancestors were artists, potters, or metalworkers like me? But I'm getting ahead of myself. On May 23, 2012, at 55 years of age, it was time to welcome the 3rd stage of my life with open arms and a willing heart. Blessed retirement. I was finally living the American dream. After so many fulfilling years with the California Highway Patrol, I was ready to get serious about documenting our family history. At the top of my list was to give a saliva sample for my first DNA test with Ancestry DNA. It took almost 8 of the longest weeks of my life waiting for the results, almost as unnerving as waiting for Santa Claus to come down the chimney with my presents. When I opened the email containing my genetic DNA verdict, I gasped. DNA don't lie, does it? There was a lot of cream in my African coffee. It was then that I had to face the fact that maybe I am mixed after all. For the first time in my life, I wanted to find out not only the African component of our ethnic equation, but also the white people who gave my family this cafe au lait skin tone. More is in Part 4, with details of our DNA results. Even though I had stepped up my genealogy activities since retiring in 2012, I had found little more than my Aunt Lavada had discovered decades ago. Do you want to know something terribly embarrassing? Truthfully, I had largely been unsuccessful because of my stubborn resistance to following recommended research protocols. I hope you will learn from my mistakes and avoid these misguided steps. First, all these years I usually did not print out the documents I found because I wanted to save paper. Most of my findings are carefully arranged in folders by family inside my laptop computer. The experts stress the importance of printing out documents and organizing them in binders or folders that can be reviewed side by side to better visualize familial relationships. Plus, if your computer crashes, you won't lose all your research. Number 2. Although many genealogists maintain that FamilySearch.org contains better sources of data for African American research, I have almost exclusively utilized the user-friendly Ancestry.com since 2006 to access vital records, census documents, my online family tree, and DNA results. Well, after all, I was paying an annual subscription for Ancestry.com. Why shouldn't I use it? Number 3. Every genealogy class I attended indicated the importance of reviewing every column in the U.S. Census to obtain valuable contextual information about our relatives' lives and that of their neighbors. We should review at least 3 pages before and after our relatives' census page to learn whether other families with the same surname were living nearby. Those could be family members or former slave masters. I did not follow that advice either, instead mainly only reviewing the gender and ethnicity of people with the same surname as mine. Number 4. Slave research is best accomplished by reviewing the probate, land records, and bills of sale of the slave master. None of my family knew who the slave master was, and I had no idea how to figure out that critical information, so I never learned how to access those extremely important records until starting this book. I repeated the same mistakes for years, getting nowhere in the search for my enslaved ancestors. I needed to turn over a new leaf and find other solutions, such as the ones recommended by the experts and presented in this book.